Hello everyone, bringing you a video today which is a remake of an older one looking at the J-Pack or Jungle First Aid Kit, which was part of the late war jungle equipment, obviously intended for the ongoing war with Japan, which didn't transpire. These were however used post-war. Obviously Britain was involved in jungle warfare, jungle operations for a good number of years post-war, the Malayan emergency and then the Indonesia-Borneo confrontation, and these would be in use, as I say, for many years to come after their introduction, and they would be updated later on. You occasionally see these with the Omnipon morphine injector replacing the original morphine from the set. So they were clearly in use for quite a few years. We're going to have a look at this in some detail, look at the contents, and hopefully this will be a little bit better quality video than the original that was uploaded, which I will eventually be getting rid of. So hopefully you'll find this interesting. Right, so here we have it. We have the J-Pack here, and then the waterproof pouch it would have been carried in. This is a simple pouch made out of rubberized canvas, and you can see how the J-Pack would fit inside like that, and you just roll this over on it and then tie the flap closed to provide some waterproofing. It would also have carried a triangular bandage in here as well, so that's a part of the J-Pack setup. Later on these would in some instances be replaced or not used. There's certainly an example in the IWM collection. I think it's actually available online. The photographs are available of it online, which has been carried in a plastic wallet. Obviously these were in use for some time. It's no surprise that there was some adaptation there, and use of other bits and pieces with them to replace the original waterproof pouch. You can see a date here which is possibly 1945 across there. The manufacturer's, it's really not very clear, but stamped on the outside of the canvas there, the manufacturer's stamp and the date stamp, as you can see. Opening this up, actually turn it over because the stamp on the outside is upside down. If I open out the instructions here, I'll hold them up so you can pause and read these should you wish to. So starting on the left here, we have the Sulfur Meds, which was mentioned in the instructions. We have 2 tubes of that here. Just hold these up and you can see the full designation there of sulfur mesothine. And these tubes are, I believe, turned aluminium. You can see in there is still a little bit of the cotton packing in there. So the tablets were made to fit pretty much exactly within the tube, so the same diameter, and then you'd have a piece of cotton packing on top to stop them rattling around and breaking up. A little nub on the aluminium tube there to help hold the lid in place, as you can see, and then neatly stamped with the contents there. I'll pop those back in. So looking at the instructions here, Sulfur Meds was used for various different things. So if wounded, give 4 tablets, and the instructions there. If wounded in belly, do not give the tablets, only give water. So you've got for dysentery and diarrhea there, and then you've got details of the morphine ampule and syringe here. Now they're carried at the other end of the kit here in these aluminium tubes. You do see them replaced sometimes with the later Omnipon morphine, but again you'd have a tube with a morphine syrette in there, morphine syringe. As I say, I've seen photographs of examples of these where these aluminium tubes have been replaced with the later plastic Omnipon setup, which is a little tube in a plastic. It's almost like a little super glue tube with a needle attached inside a plastic carrier with a foil top, and they've been slotted in here in place of the original morphine ampules, which again fits with these having been in use for quite a long time, quite many years. The next set of tablets we have here is Appcod, and you can see there the details stamped on the outside of the tube. Again, the tube is exactly the same dimensions, and we have details here of the Appcod tablets on the instructions. Used for aches, so it's a painkiller. You have obviously the tab codeine company, so it'll be a codeine based painkiller, the Appcod tablets, and they, as you can see here, there are instructions there regarding how to use these. There are various other things carried in a tin in the centre of the kit as well. We have an antiseptic pen, a Styptic Pencil, and then we have some other tablets. We'll open that up now, slot this back in, the Appcod tablets slot back in there. We'll get this tin out from the middle, and you can see this carries the antiseptic pen, the blade, which is part of the kit, Styptic, and Apprehension. So open this up, just tip out the contents here. So it's just a little stamped aluminium tin. Contains the blade there, which is part of the kit. We'll get to that in a moment. But a razor blade there. The antiseptic pen, which obviously is used on wounds and so forth for its antiseptic properties, obviously. We have a little tube containing the Styptic Pencil. Now, Styptic is used on wounds to help coagulate the blood. You can buy them for shaving. They're used with, if you cut yourself shaving, you can buy Styptic pencils and you just moisten the end and apply it, and it helps the blood to clot very quickly. So Styptic Pencil, obviously very useful in the jungle, or in general if you're wounded, I guess. And then the Apprehension Tablets C there, as you can see. Now, if we go back to the instructions, you've got the antiseptic pen for cuts, chafes, blisters, etc. Cover afterwards with elastoplast dressings if necessary. That's one last thing we'll look at here. These are reproductions because the originals were missing, but you have a set of elastoplast plasters, basically, dressings, in a little wallet there that fit behind the instructions there, in a little sewn in pocket for them. So that's quite neat. So you've got that there. Obviously use your antiseptic pen and then apply plasters. The Styptic Pencil, apply to leech bites to stop bleeding. Do not pull a leech off, let it drop off. And that's very important, of course, because if you pull them off, they can leave the tooth behind and the wound will probably inevitably get infected. Whereas if you let them drop off, you can then use a Styptic Pencil to stop the bleeding or help stop the bleeding. And then you've got the Apprehension Tablets there. Take 1 or 2 if you're suffering from constipation. So that's what they're for. So the blade is useful, obviously, generally as a little cutting implement. It's a useful thing to have in the kit. But you've got the full range of instructions there for the different contents, and it's fairly comprehensive. It allows you to treat a lot of the minor ailments you'll suffer in, so particularly with a focus on jungle warfare yourself. As mentioned, this is a section issue thing, which is why there's quite a lot in it. There's quite a lot of tablets. There's more than an individual would necessarily need, and it does contain more in terms of medication than you would see in perhaps the jungle first aid kit that the US forces used. So it's quite a useful little set of bits and pieces to treat a wide variety of medical issues and obviously injuries as well. So quite a useful little kit and a very interesting thing to have in the collection. I'm very happy to have one of these. It's quite an iconic bit of the late war jungle kit and obviously would be used going forward in Malaya and in Borneo, and I think probably in use even into the 1970s to a degree, given the fact you do find these with the Omnipon morphine ampules replacing the original morphine ampules in these metal tubes. So there we are, quite a comprehensive little first aid kit for a variety of ailments, some of which are specific to jungle operations, as mentioned there, notably leech bites, and the inclusion of a Styptic Pencil for dealing with those was a very good idea. It does just help the blood coagulate and counteracts the chemical that the leeches inject, which obviously prevent your blood from clotting. That's the idea, makes it easier to drink, which is not a nice thing to think of, but unfortunately a reality of operations in the jungle. So as I say, I hope you found it interesting looking at this. If you have and you'd like to see more from the channel, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you would like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as ever, a huge thank you to everybody who supports the channel using those two methods. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all very much indeed. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And if you'd like to get in touch but you don't really use social media, there is of course an email address down there as well. That's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.